Delicious. Didn't think of the bit afterwards. Now, I love coffee, and like many of you lot out there, I live on this stuff, and that's why I'm so grateful to have found DDRoasters.com. Now, they've got an array of flavours, and my personal favourite is one called One Night Stand. The reason being, it's got undertones of cherry, toasted nut, and chocolate. Unlike a lot of one night stands, I promise you, you won't be disappointed. Now, a lot of these coffee brands will just send you any old shite out, but this brand is cool because it was founded by my good friend and adult star, Danny Daniels, and she is obsessed with coffee and the quality of her product. The coffee beans are sourced and craft roasted in-house, which means no third-party roasters or manufacturers get their hands on Danny's beans. It's super fresh, and each order is roasted and shipped off to you within 48 hours of your order. Whether it be whole bean, deep grind, espresso grind, French press, Chemex, or pour over, DD Roasters will provide the ultimate coffee for you. So to get your perfect cup of coffee, simply click the link in the description below, make your order, and it will be roasted and shipped off to you within 48 hours. So thanks to DD Roasters for their great coffee and support of the channel, but for now, enjoy the video. Welcome back to the Pain Game YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new. Today I am reacting to Misfits boxing event number 12. Honestly, I had a great time. Every fight was pretty fucking action-packed, and there was loads of epic moments throughout the night, so I'm going to react to it now. Starting with one of my best mates, Joey Knight, who was first on the card. We love it. We love it. That was the thing that made me confident, is the level of confidence Joey had. As some of you know, he's been on the Pain Game debates before, Joey. He has previous boxing experience. He did a few white-collar boxing matches. It ain't one of those things where the guy's been like a pro fighter for years and then just done the odd YouTube video and now wants to fight YouTubers, which has happened before. I've seen that before. Joey, out of this whole event, is probably the most consistent uploading YouTuber on the card. And it just so happens that he's had fight experience before. But even still, this is a different world from having some white-collar boxing bouts. This is lights, cameras, DAZN, worldwide. You're going viral if you lose badly. You're going viral if you win well. Pressure's on. And he was up against a lad called Most Wanted, who's a smaller creator in the scene, but a tough kid who took the fight when others didn't. So he had my respect coming into it. Seeing him on the pads, he hits quite hard, to be fair. Getting that body punch in, coming over the top with it, and Joey smiles it. And what Joey was doing here was just staying out of range for a bit, letting him throw those massive shots and then making him pay when he came in range without his guard up. And it was experience played a massive factor in this. But this is the shot right here. Boom! Woo-hoo! Tried a bit of head movement there, Most, and got caught in the dead space, and Joey seeing it coming a mile away. This was quite a funny moment. No one else has fun in a ring like that in Misfits, because the nerves, the pressure gets to a lot of people. Joey dealt with that brilliantly. You can see the tiredness is kicking in more for Most here, because there's a difference between thinking you know what it takes to be in there and actually being in there and understanding the level of cardio that is required to keep this kind of pace up. Lovely double jab there from Joey. Spins round, 1, 2. Oh, I think they should have called it. Yeah, like slipping them. Oh, boom, slips to right hand. The referee stops it. He's seen enough, and the winner, Joey Knight. And at this point, I'm going mental in the crowd. That was first fight of the night for Joey. First time he'd been on Misfits. Hopefully next time we get him higher in the card, get the arena packed, and show these skills off, because we've never seen that in Misfits. We've never seen someone styling like that in a Misfits ring. It's not happened. Saul Pappy's got some nice slick moves, but we're not seeing fighters spin around another fighter and catch him with a 1-2 like that. It's just not happening. This is a serious player in the game for Misfits at lightweight. I think he can beat any of them. Hopefully we're going to find out if he can. DTG versus Miles Rxu. This guy is cool as fuck. Met him, real calm customer. Despite being the much shorter guy in this fight, didn't seem phased. This is Miles. He was a big lad, to be fair. Like, for the weight class, I think this is about 14.5 stone. And he has the height. He's an athlete, but it's his first fight, and he was fighting a guy who'd had a couple before and won a couple. Yeah, Miles, being the bigger lad, didn't really know how to use that. I think coaching-wise, he definitely needs a bit of tutelage on how to jab and actually elongate the distance between the end of his hand and the chin, because he's quite square on and he's making life quite easy here for DTG to actually catch him. And DTG has some solid fundamentals, like he's doing the double jab, following up with the big right hand. He understands how to deliver it, whereas Miles, he just needs a bit more training. Bang! That was the shot. Hell of a punch from DTG. And to be fair, you probably wouldn't think that he was like that when you meet him, because he's one of the nicest dudes. But yeah, he put the smack down on him there. And to be fair with Miles, you can see here the lack of experience. He's not backing down though. Oh, big shot. And another two. And another two. Oh, and this is a combination of just fatigue and damage kicking right in now. Miles is knackered. This is what happens when it's your first fight. You don't realise the level of output you're going to have to give on the night. Great win for DTG. You know, I'm seeing improvements every single time he fights, so good on him. Because not everyone on this card shows improvements every time they fight, let me tell you. All right, on to Fox the G versus Small Spartan J. Now, this was a banger of a fight with two warriors who just came straight forward. I think most people were thinking Spartan J would win because we'd seen him before in Misfits look very good. He's a calisthenics world champion 2 years running. A beast of an athlete. Fox the G, on the other hand, won a competition like a year and a half ago to be a ring announcer on the first ever Misfits card. The kid looked like a baby. I met him, he was sound, but I never thought in a year and a half we're going to see you knock someone spark out. And I think this fight is one of the reasons people love watching a full Misfits card, because guys like this, they're wanting to win. They want to make a name for themselves. They're determined. They're not worried about their boxing record and all that shit. They're coming for the knockout. And both of these warriors went full steam ahead. It was fantastic to watch. But yeah, as you can see here, I mean, they look multiple weight classes apart right now. It is staggering, the size difference. And that one shot there, I feel like, was enough to actually scramble Spartan a little bit. That one hook and then another one. And you can see that Fox has got some real decent natural power at this weight class. And he throws with bad intentions. You can see him gritting those fucking teeth, and he means every fucking last swing. And I felt like he knew it. And he said this in the weigh-in, but I just didn't believe him, because I'm like, bro, you're 18. Of course you're going to say you're going to knock him out. And that left hook was all she wrote. One of the best knockouts we've ever seen in Misfits boxing, to a point where at first I was like, oh, and then after like a minute you're like, oh, is he all right? Because he'd been down for quite a while, and that was a stone cold knockout. What I have to say is, I spoke to the lad the next day, Spartan J, and he took that loss like a champion. There was no shame, just acceptance of, yeah, it happens. You can't go out in the rain and not get wet, right? And I've got a lot of respect for that, because that was a tough loss and he took it like a man. And the reality is, he should be in a weight class below this, in my opinion. We just don't have one, because Misfits boxing is still just starting. We're just figuring out the weight classes. Credit to him for stepping up and taking on a bigger man, and credit to Fox for doing the work and coming out with a emphatic win. What a win. Stole the fucking show. And me and Joey were having a pint in the fucking crowd, and Joey goes, there goes my knockout bonus, the bastard. But fair play, it was smashing that, like. On to Ben Williams versus Fez Batista. Fez, I've had a good few chats with. Really cool guy. Bit weird, bit quirky, but he's very funny. And he's got this thing about Lady Gaga, which is really hilarious. But one of the nicest guys on Misfits for sure. Ben, I met him, seemed like a nice lad. He's been sponsored by Conor McGregor for this event. So fair fucks to Conor for backing up an influencer from Dublin, I believe, or Ireland at the very least. And both of these have previous boxing experience from what I've seen. And this was a really decent boxing match. I mean, you know, both guys really were quite competent, and they knew what the hell they were doing. And Ben, clearly, as you can tell here, is an athlete. He's got very fast hands. Technically, he's still got a bit to learn, but my God, is he quick. There's a lot of tense energy as I'm watching this, and I think with Ben, when he learns to relax a bit more and let the opposition throw more and counter them, that's when his speed and power will really pay off. Right now, he's kind of trying to force it, which is natural. Like, I think this is his first Misfits fight, and it's a bit of a step up in competition for him, because right now he's kind of showing his hand. So here is not Logan Paul It's the guy who looks like Logan Paul, but he isn't really Logan Paul. And he actually has martial arts experience, from what I understand. Jiu-jitsu guy, does a bit of MMA, but striking isn't his thing. And he's up against Tristan, who I believe is like a adventure guy, a rock climber type dude. And he's being trained by the guy who built Jake Paul, BJ Flores. So I was fully expecting him to have the better fundamentals. And also, if you're a rock climber, you're probably not going to get fucking tired. This guy is so mad. He's just just the way he boxes is weird. Fucking hell. He's just wild, man. I'm pretty sure he caught him with one though early on. There you go, that one he hit him with that one. And it's just throw 10 and hope one lands. But when you're in there with somebody who hasn't got a fucking clue and isn't playing by the rules, because in their head there are no rules, it could be a bit fucking difficult, especially because I believe this is Tristan's first fight. But when he landed one, that was all. It was over. I mean, the referee should have stepped in beforehand. That wasn't good. Like, how many do you need, ref? Fuck me, man. I think this sets up a really great fight next for Logan Paul versus not Logan Paul. Who is the ultimate Logan? Real talk, I've never seen a dude lose a fight and react so well. He went out of the ring with his hand raised. He didn't give a shit, man. I was like, what a legend. Interestingly, this fight did get a bit of criticism from one of Floyd Mayweather's former opponents, Andre Berto, who said, these YouTubers keep playing. Sooner or later, you're going to get hurt or die thinking this sport is a game. I accept the concern from a guy like him, for sure. Ironically, because a lot of these YouTubers don't have the level of skills of pro boxers, they're not actually able to fight through the pain and to defend themselves well enough to continuously take, hundreds of punches to the head, which is what often is the main cause of these deaths in boxing. Every boxer is in danger, don't get me wrong, but a lot of the times these fights are over very quickly, and the repetitive punches that would happen to cause the level of brain trauma that has resulted in bad things in boxing, it never gets that far because these guys aren't that good, ironically. So while I understand his concern, I'm not sure if he's right in it's more likely to happen in Misfits or more likely to happen in pro boxing, because in Misfits you get dropped, you're out of there, you don't know how to fucking look after yourself despite being concussed and all of that, whereas pro boxers, they're so used to that level of punishment and demand that they're the ones who go beyond the pain barrier, and they're the ones who end up often in that bad situation. So it could happen. I'm not saying that in any walk of boxing there's danger, but I'm not actually sure if it's more likely or not. And I use that same logic with UFC. When you get dropped, like, a guy just jumps on you and pounds you out a lot of the time, and that's it. It's a knockout. There's no, let's give him 10 seconds to get back up and let's carry on getting the shit kicked out of it for the next however long, where the brain just continuously gets battered. That is why the UFC's record of, serious injuries has been far superior to pro boxing. Again, that doesn't mean you can't get a serious, death or whatever in the UFC. It just means that it's actually less likely, in my opinion, than in pro boxing. And I think the same sort of thing applies to Misfits, in a sense of, like, they don't get the opportunity to carry on the way pro boxers do. However, I could be wrong. I'm not sitting here saying I'm an expert in that side of boxing and how dangerous it really can be. I'm literally just theorizing, and I could be wrong. Although one fight that kind of backs up my claim would be DeMoor versus Minicon, because these two dudes are big, powerful, strong athletes. But technically, their knowledge of how to deliver that power is not there yet. I think DeMoor is a funny, charismatic guy and a hell of an athlete, but sometimes being a beast athlete doesn't mean you can pick everything up. And I think he'd probably make a great MMA guy. I know he's played NFL and boxing, but when it comes to throwing punches, it's just not loose yet. It's still very robotic with him, and he just needs more time to develop that. Good right hook. Minicon is in danger, and that's a hell of a hook to the head. And to be honest with you, I was really impressed with the start from Chase there. My only thing with Chase is when I watch him, his chin is right in the air, and he definitely needs to sort that out. Minicon, he just looks a bit sloppy in most of his fights. It's like he's not training, do you know what I mean? And I don't say that disrespectfully. I don't know who is training him. I'm sure they're probably doing their best with him, but you wouldn't know it. So something's not right here. He needs to evaluate, like, what am I doing wrong? It's fucking mental. And that was a good fucking shot. He's a funny one, Chase, because as much as he doesn't look good technically, he'd probably beat the shit out of most people in a street fight because he is just such a fucking big, quick guy. And even the bare knuckle heavyweight champion got in there with him not long ago and couldn't knock him out, couldn't drop him in, I think, a 3 to 4 round fight on Misfits. He's awkward as fuck. And Chase DeMoor got his first win in Misfits boxing, and you could see it meant a lot to him, and I rated that. It was good to see him really soak the moment up. And this was a bit of a battle, Elle Rxu versus OJ Ros. Since then, I think Rxu has been complaining about the fact that he didn't get the decision. This was a draw, and it was a very competitive fight. I think the first round is a good place to talk about Ashley's good points in this fight, because on the back foot, he really was twisting into that jab and being quite effective on the back foot. And OJ Ros is one of the hardest guys to hurt in this division because he just bites down on the gum shield and comes forward constantly. But as you can see, Elle Rxu is clipping him here. Now let's fast forward to later in the fight. Both lads going hell for leather. You can see Elle Rxu on the back foot still, as he was for most of the fight. And that's hard to do, like walking backwards the whole time, throwing punches. And it puts OJ Ros at an advantage. But to be fair, Ashley is digging in and trying to make it as hard as possible. But I think he knows, like, I've just got to try and gut this out. He seemed to feel like he had the first few rounds won. Good shots. He knows he's getting hit there. Yeah. And look, I thought it was a close fight, and I wasn't mad at a draw at all, to be fair. But when your opponent is sort of walking you down at the end of the fight, it just leaves a lasting impression on the judges. So I'm not surprised that it was a draw. And to be fair, quite a few people gave it to OJ Ros as well. Co-main event, AJ Bunker versus Elle Brook, who is the queen of Misfits. And I've seen a fair bit of Elle, and I have to say, she punches with power, and she trains with some serious fighters for sure, world champion girls and stuff like that. So I was expecting her to come out and properly put AJ Bunker on her arse. To be fair though, AJ Bunker surprised us. She used that jab. She was better than I expected. And what I will say, that was a lovely punch from AJ Bunker, to be fair. But with Elle's power is so ferocious for a girl that way that I think AJ was just panicking every time she came near her, and she was throwing far too many punches that were nowhere even close to the chin, just to try and keep Elle's respect and keep her away from her. And that fear expended so much energy and it achieved nothing. And I think more time in the gym, more time practicing will get AJ Bunker way better at judging the distance. That was a good shot. Oh, that was it. That shot there wobbled AJ big time. Gadoosh! That's one hell of a shot from Elle Brook, who drops AJ Bunker, and that is very rare to see in female influencer boxing, let me tell you. That poor girl, she could not continue. Good decision from the referee. Elle Brook, the new queen of Misfits, and wow. Wow. That's a happy person right there. It's got that warrior-esque energy for sure there. What I will say is Elle Brook got such a good reception from the audience. They took her to heart big time. Like, she was the fan favourite of the night probably. And I can only imagine, as an OnlyFans girl, it must be quite fucking satisfying that everyone who's saying, oh, you're just an OnlyFans girl, all of that. But now she's a queen of Misfits boxing, and she's proved that there's more to her than meets the eye and taking her clothes off. And she is that good. She really is the best that they've got in that division. So looking forward to seeing more of her fights. Now on to Ed Matthews versus Pineda. I knew it was Pineda the whole time. Just saying. I knew before you lot. So losers. And Ed Matthews is a really interesting character. He just seems like he just rolls out of bed and just looks for a scrap, which is very fun to watch. Pineda here, as the more technical boxer, I was thinking, all right, early on, Ed Matthews, if it goes past the first round, it's Pineda's to lose, because I just don't know what level of training Ed is doing. As much as I think the kid's talented, he doesn't come across like someone who lives the life. And that's from me. I like a drink and a smoke as much as the next guy. Unless the next guy is Ed Matthews. Just saying. He does seem to enjoy life. It was a fucking great fight, I've got to say. And I have to give credit to both of these lads as the fight starts, because without them taking this fight, we wouldn't have had that main event, because the original main event wasn't able to go ahead. So credit to both men for taking it short notice. And that was a hell of a start from Ed. It wasn't classed as a knockdown, but he showed he meant business. He really just fights like he's outside a pub, doesn't he? Like, he just fucking does. I love it. Pineda's body is so narrow and his arms are so long. He looks like you could flip him upside down and he could run with his arms. Everything's just so long and skinny, it's mad. Oh, and that was a good shot that sent Ed Matthews down, that backhand of Pineda. And he may not be the most powerful guy, but it was accurate. The distance and the range definitely was a problem for Ed. Just that tall, lanky frame of Pineda is hard to get on the inside for him. Ed comes out flying in the second round. He is determined to get him out of there, but really not landing anything clean because Pineda is covering up well and he's inviting him on. I tell you what, that's not what you want to see from a guy like Pineda, because like his punch resistance hasn't been amazing so far in Misfits. Oh, and that's a big shot. And Ed is out of the ropes and into the judges. Fucking hell, mate. That must be a weird feeling for the kid. Like, whoa, how did I fucking get here? They waved it off at that point. Look, I think it was partly fatigue as well for Ed, as much as it was, you know, was he hurt? I think he was really fatigued at that point, and I think he can win that fight, actually, with a bit of training, bit of practice. I think he just wasn't ready. It was a short notice fight. Credit to him for taking it. And Pineda is a pro. I mean, not a great pro, but he's actually got pro experience, and a lot of these lads don't. Big love to Pineda. You know, the kid's from humble beginnings, and even though he's not really an influencer boxer or a crossover boxer, he was given his chance by KSI, and from everything I've heard, he is from humble beginnings, and he's managed to make a better life for himself. And when people do that, fuck it, break the rules. You know, fair play to him. Now, he doesn't actually speak English, but he does have a translator, and luckily, one of the best interviewers in the YouTube boxing game managed to grab a few words with him. Let's hear it.
How was the fight last night?
I really would like to thank everybody, but especially my team that really stay close to me, and especially my mom, who is in the heavens right now.
Oh, she's in heaven.
Certainly. I hope your mum's all good.
Sorry, what? Did I hear that right? He did say in heaven, didn't he? Not in, like, Hebben, which is a place near Newcastle, for the record.
And especially my mom, who is in the heavens right now.
Definitely heaven, just to be clear. And Fred says...
Certainly. I hope your mum's all good.
She's dead, mate. How can she be all good? I mean, I haven't called heaven. It's not a direct line. I kind of check on her, unfortunately. We're just hoping for the best. You know, I'll have a word with her when I get up there, but I'm not planning. I've got another 60, 70 years left, hopefully. So when I see her, I'll let her know you're asking after her. I hope she's all good. So yeah, just a word of advice out there. If you are suffering the loss of a loved one, family bereavement, whatever, don't tell Fred about it. You know those like blokes who do like eulogies or whatever? He wouldn't be good at that. Just saying. Well, he wouldn't even know they died. He's like, what am I doing here? I hope they're all good. Well, they're in that coffin. Go and ask them. But don't forget to check out Fred, because he does lots of those interviews, and there's always a little nugget here and there of greatness, just like that. Anyway, I love Misfits 12. I thought it was a fantastic way to kick off the year. Let me know what you thought of the fight, what your favourite fight was, who your favourite fighter of the night was as well. And what's next for Joey Knight, my guy? We're hoping he can manage to get his hands on a title in Misfits. That would be amazing. But thanks for watching, everyone. Don't forget, if you haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe to the Pain Game YouTube channel. And if you've got anyone in your family who's dead, I hope they're all good. See you later.